everyone, and welcome to 333 News. Or should I say welcome back to 333 News? Now, this is an unscheduled episode because we are not doing it on a Sunday like we would do our usual 333 News episodes. But in this episode, I would like to address something, or rather, we would like to address something because Homer J. Simpson is going to be having a pretty large segment in this. But we are going to be addressing something, a bill, that could potentially pose a very serious threat to the general public and for many people who are content creators on any social media platform. So, that is a new bill by the DMCA, and I will give a brief rundown of what the DMCA is. Well, this is up to the right, and that basically explains what exactly is the DMCA. This is the result of a Google search, and no sites were used for this one, so it's actually the Digital Millennial Copyright Act. So that means that anything that is owned by someone who created the content and decided to put it out on the internet, they have the right of ownership to that content, and it can be copyrighted if anybody uses it illegally. And that is basically what has been around since 1998. And now recently, we'll get that off the screen now, because hopefully you have read it enough. Recently, they have announced a new bill which contains a bunch of things, but one of the most notable ones is any violations could result in jail time. And a lot of people are slandering this, and here is why. It seems absolutely ridiculous that you could go to jail just because you have copyrighted music in the background of your video. And what else is that many of the social media platforms already have a way, especially YouTube, of dealing with copyright issues. So that is even more reason that this is unnecessary. Homer will explain more in a little bit, but I'm just going to give rundowns of everything right now before we get into Homer's segment. Then we can finish this off. So, next thing I'm going to show you is what exactly this new amendment contains, up to the right. And we decided we would include the links both on these images and in the description so that way you will be able to check out the entire source for yourself. So if you feel like you need more information, please go down to the description and check out the links there because that should explain everything that you need to know. So basically, this new amendment means for multiple or even one offense, users or offenders rather can be seeing jail time just because they have copyrighted music in their videos, or, they are using game music and they're streaming with copyrighted music playing. And it could be intentional or accidental. And that is the big problem, is people are not intending to do this, yet they're still going to be punished with this. And that is what really sticks out to me as really critical and bad. Alright, so that is now gone. There's one more thing which is going to be critical to everyone's defense against this, and that is the Fair Use Act, which will now be displayed up here. So, basically what the Fair Use Act states is that, to a certain degree, copyright content may be used by people who do not have licensing or ownership to it, and that degree is they may use a segment of it, not the entire thing, but a segment of it, and they must give credit, meaning they must disclaim who the owner of the original content is, and they must cite it by linking it. And if they don't do that, then it is considered theft. But under the Fair Use Act, you are allowed to use copyrighted content so long that you give credit. And that is what the DMCA is trying to throw out the window with this new bill. And do we really want to allow that? No, we don't. So, take that off the screen now. And now, since I'm pretty much done giving a brief rundown of everything that we're going to need here, we'll send it over to Homer J. Simpson, and he is going to argue why the bill should not be passed and why it needs to be stopped. So, over to you, Homer.
This is Homer J. Simpson reporting from my office, current administrator of Venus City. So, as Frank has just explained, there is a new DMCA Act that is being passed, and this bill is threatening any violators of the DMCA Act to be sent to jail for using any copyrighted content and any social media content. Now, the reason that this is not going to be a very good bill, and why this could be potentially devastating for many people, is it's giving people unnecessary jail time for offenses that they may not have even intended, and that is the big reason why this just seems unfair and unlawful, and the reason this bill should not be passed. So, we are actually the third channel to be defending against this bill. There are 2 other channels that have defended against this bill so far, and we'll be linking the first of those in the description because he makes a very good point in what he is saying. The music industry basically is only doing this for the purpose of earning more money and the fact that they are being greedy, and it's basically why they are doing this. They don't have any good and justified reason for passing this bill. They just want the money out of it, and that is why they are passing it. At least that is what I am to believe right now, based on the information that has been given. And, as Frank said, under fair use, you are allowed to use copyrighted content to a certain degree, so long as you're giving credit to the original source and the original owner of the content. Now, what this new DMCA bill is going to do is it's going to ignore fair use and go directly against it, meaning even if you do give credit, you're likely still going to be facing this jail time punishment, and that is considered unlawful, contradictory, and illegal in itself. So, that is the big reason why this should not be passed. Not only could this be putting many people at risk for doing something that has been legalized in a certain way for many years now, but they are also putting themselves at a huge risk for facing up to $1 million fines, because they are going against a law that has been passed and, something that we all consider to be very lawful today, the Fair Use Act. And the Fair Use Act is protecting the rights of the owners of these copyrighted content things. So, basically what the Fair Use Act is you may use copyrighted content, and you are allowed to use it if you give credit. What that does is, the original owner is still getting the credit for the content that they made, because if you're not giving credit, it is theft in the sense that you're basically calling it your own content even though someone else made it. So the Fair Use Act is meant to protect against theft like this, and basically violation of that could result in fines or jail time. So, essentially, there is no need for the new DMCA bill, based on the fact that the Fair Use Act has this all covered, and the DMCA bill threatens to go against this Fair Use Act, which, in my opinion, is illegal. So that is all the information I have got on this. Back to you, Frank.
Thank you, Homer. So yeah, Homer just explained pretty much everything you need to know about this. The fact that the DMCA is issuing what could be an unconstitutional and illegal bill, because it is going against another bill that is already in place meant to deal with the exact same situation that they're trying to combat. And that bill, or rather law because it's already passed, the Fair Use Act, handles it a lot better than the DMCA is trying to do with this new bill that threatens to throw people in jail just for using copyrighted content. And since it is going against the Fair Use Act, that bill could be seeing massive slander and is seen by some people as illegal for going against a world law that has already been instituted, and many people will be innocently thrown in jail. So, this is why we all need to hashtag stop DMCA. We all need to combat this together, and I believe, if we get a big enough movement, then it will be stopped. And originally, many people thought, what the heck is this? How is it even going to be passed? It's so stupid that there's no way it could possibly work. But they're trying their hardest to make it a reality, and honestly, it's a reality nobody wants, a reality nobody needs, a reality that could potentially land them in hotter water than the general public that it's going to affect, because they're going against a law that's already been instituted a long time ago. And if they go against that law, they're going to be the ones seeing a lot of fines, charges, and violations, and not the people they're trying to target. So, with that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in 2 days with an actual 333 News episode. And also, please remember to check out Penguin Zoe's video in the description, because he seems to do a lot better job at explaining it, and he was the first one to combat this situation. We are just spreading the news and making sure that everyone gets the information that we need to stop this bill. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.